Welcome back. We are live at Adepticon 2024. It is Friday, March 22nd, day two, but still plenty of con to come. My name is John Helfers. I am the executive editor for Catalyst Game Labs. I'm the one who herds the cats, my great crew of authors who produce fantastic novels that you're all hopefully reading and enjoying. With me today is technically a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyways. I have the pleasure of interviewing for the next 45, 50 minutes Michael A. Stackpole, of course. Michael should be known to the vast majority of Battletech fans as the man who created such seminal novels as the Warrior trilogy and what we have over here, the hardcovers of the Blood of Kreisky trilogy, as well as many, many other books. He's worked in the Dark Age. He's written just tons of source book material. Michael, it is a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Thanks. Were you a local TV person in your previous life? Because I was expecting you to throw to me, and now we have Mike Stackpole with the weather. Well, here at Adepticon, it's snowing lightly, but it's beautiful. Yeah, so yeah, once you got that.
It's great to have you here, and I look forward to diving into it. Man, other than Mr. Weissman, Mr. Jordan Weissman, I think you
Right,
have been with BattleTech the longest. I mean, it's got to be pretty close.
the
Maybe,
longest
maybe Mike?
continuously, I think.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Absolutely. But I mean, you were there almost at the beginning. So why don't you give folks a kind of a capsule summary of how you came to write what became the Warrior trilogy?
Um, well, back in those halcyon days,
Yeah,
in the middle
village
'80s,
time.
right? In the middle '80s, um, the literally Dragonlance had come out and
Yes.
splashed big, and
Exploded. Yeah. So media time was a thing now.
it,
Yeah.
it really was. And there was sort of a thought amongst a lot of companies that we needed fiction, we needed novels,
Yeah.
and Facet had brought out I think by the time I got involved with the line, the first two books were out: Decision at Thunder Rift
Right.
and Ardith Mayhar's Sword and the Dagger.
Oh yes,
Okay,
yes. Yes.
so
Our
those
so far famous lost novel.
right, and I think that again when I started, I think the House Steiner source book was out, and they sent me um, the Draconis Combine
Right.
source book in manuscript.
In proofs. Yeah.
Right,
Basically. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But we were at Origins. I had just finished a novel, which later got published as Italian Revenant
Yeah. Right.
by Bantam. Um, and I was though I worked for Flying Buffalo. Rick was always very nice. Rick Loomis, the late owner of Flying
Right.
Buffalo, was always great about letting his staff do freelance work.
Yeah. So
Uh,
you were in the industry for how long by this time?
so I was in my first adventure got published in '78 while I was still a freelancer,
Okay.
and then in
And
'79 after
that
I
was
got,
college, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and
So
then
very early.
I graduated from college and moved out to Arizona from Vermont
Yeah.
to work for Flying Buffalo
Okay.
and continue to do projects for them, and then moved into the editorial staff there
Right.
for a lot of different projects. Um, but Rick would allow us to freelance, and
Yeah.
so I went around. I remember it at Origins. Went around and it was Origins '87, and talked to Jordan and said, "Hey, I see you got a novel out. I've written a novel. I'd be interested." And Jordan, quite rightly, looked at me like, "Oh God, not 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 another,
Not another
not."
noob coming to ask me to come.
Yeah, well,
Test me out this great novel.
especially, oh God, not another game designer. You're right. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, because game design.
I need like a hole in the head.
That's right. I mean, you're a game designer. You're about probabilities and math, which is not really your literature degree.
Storytelling.
No.
So,
And but I promised that I would send a copy of Italian, or I sent a disc off that had a tech short story in it, so they could see it can handle explosions,
right.
and the first six chapters of this novel. And then they sent me it was Bastille Day, oddly enough, I remember very distinctly that a bunch of material they'd sent because they were saying, well, they had said, we got Renegade Legion coming up, maybe we'll do some novels for that.
Right.
But in the interim, because they didn't have a manuscript, they sent me a bunch of BattleTech stuff. So I devoured that.
Yeah.
And when I got a call, it was Ross Babcock, Jordan's partner,
Hmm.
who said, read the first six chapters of your book. I'd like to read the rest of it. And I said, great. I've read all
Cool.
the stuff you sent me.
Yeah.
If you ever need any story ideas for anything in BattleTech, let me know because I've read this. I got a couple of ideas.
Okay.
And without missing a beat, Ross says, that's what we want you to talk about. We want you to write a trilogy.
So,
And
so the scene is one book under your belt,
right, one book
and
under
now
my belt.
suddenly you're being offered a trilogy, and the timeline was what?
Timeline was literally, as Ross continues in my shocked silence,
Right. Right.
100,000 words each.
Yeah.
Okay, you got 9 months. Can you do it?
That is a tall order for any writer,
Oh yeah, yeah.
experienced or beginning.
Right,
So
right.
naturally, you said,
Naturally, in my mind, what I'm thinking is, if I say, "Are you out of your mind?" I get nothing.
right, right,
But if I say yes, then at least I get the shot.
yeah,
You know. And so I said, "Of course, piece of cake." Um, and so
yes, Kenan Hill, we would know that, but we're telling it for the people who maybe haven't picked up the books.
right, yeah, yes, exactly, exactly. So and that was basically it. At Gen Con, which was about another 3 weeks off. We met and
Yeah,
they gave me the general idea of what they wanted to be doing.
right.
I worked up some outlines
And
and
now
we
we
were off
realize
to
that
the
would be
races.
8 months, 1 week. So you had to put
Right.
3 weeks of that.
Yeah.
Actually, we were prepping for it, of course,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
frantically scribbling down notes and questions and everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were real good about both getting me the source material that I needed and also, and this for which I'm very thankful
Yeah.
is trusting me to do things correctly
Yes.
because the whole Capellan invasion, all of that, uh, how the war went, who attacked what, where, and why. That was all me sitting in my apartment in Phoenix, with
Making it up,
with
basically.
spreadsheets
Yeah.
and it's going to take 6 weeks to get from here to there.
Right.
Therefore,
Right. Right.
so these are when these waves hit. This is what you're going to do and go.
So, by the way, Turbo, we started on time, not early. We started on time as opposed to yesterday.
Yeah,
But chat also, I see chat is up and running, folks. This is your
sure,
opportunity. If you want to ask Mike questions, now's your chance. We'll be doing a bit of a Q&A later on, so
right.
feel free to throw them up there.
Yeah.
So, you have the opportunity, what a lot of people would consider the opportunity of a lifetime in
Oh yeah,
front of
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
And once you start hyperventilating, and maybe stop breathing in the paper bag, how did you approach this massive space opera trilogy where you're, literally it's intersphere spanning.
Right,
You've
right,
got all
right.
the great houses, you got those all back and forth, a
Sure.
massive a wedding to plan, an
Yep, yep.
invasion
Oh
to
yeah,
handle,
yep, yep, yep,
and
yep.
and the Fox to blame for it. So
Right.
where did you start?
Well, it's sort of like the old riddle. How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at
One
a
bite at a
time.
time. Exactly. So, I mean, the first thing that was critical was we had a lot of characters who were in the universe that I was going to have to use
Right.
that were established, and so you get to know those guys.
Yeah.
And then we also, obviously, there are going to have to be some new characters.
Sure.
And in looking at the new characters, you wanted to make sure they fit in the universe. So,
Right.
for instance, a new cast of characters
Mhm.
were the Kellhounds.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I had to. I mean, my first impulse was, as everybody else had at that time, whatever mercenary group you created was the best mercenary group ever. Okay, and
And
but
they're really trying to establish them as heroes, of course, for this new
right,
universe. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
but I did. It's somewhere in the back of my mind. It was like, no, you moron. Everybody does that. And so I said, and so literally from the first, the Kellhounds were going to be the acknowledged second best mercenary unit in the universe. That way, I figured,
Part of that niche.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hold on to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause everybody, no matter who thought their unit was the best, they'd be happy to acknowledge the Kellhounds as second.
Right.
If you wanted to fight, sure, Great Death Legion versus Wolf Dragoons, nobody cares. The Kellhounds, they're right there. They are in the argument. They're always,
It's a mix, baby.
that's right, perennial silver, which is okay. Yeah.
When the characters, so established characters are one thing.
Right, right.
When it was a new character creation, how much input was it? A collaborative thing with Jordan, with Ross? Did they have, or
No,
they just said go?
they said
Just
no.
come up with it,
There
and
wasn't enough time for collaboration. Yeah. I mean, the closest we got to heavy duty collaborating in that whole process is when I was writing Warrior Repost, writing the second book,
right.
and I literally was just starting it, and I get a phone call from Jordan during the FASA Christmas party.
Okay.
And, and he says, "Oh, by the way, this is also what's happening in your book with Comstar."
Which you had not heard anything until that phone call.
Exactly,
Oh my God.
exactly. And then it was like, I have to do that. I have to do that. I have to do that. Okay, yeah,
Had you
sure, piece of
started
cake.
writing that book yet?
I had started the beginning of that book.
Okay.
I'm certainly
You hadn't
outlining
even,
stuff like that.
so it was fairly easy. You hadn't like written three quarters and had to throw some out. It was easy to
Right.
pivot,
It was
but you had to adjust your plot,
It
obviously.
was all Comstar stuff, and we knew
Right.
the wedding was taking place on Terra, and so this just became a secondary line that ran through the back end of that.
Right, 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 right.
And in retrospect, the way that that stuff got handled was really kind of necessary because the first half of that book has got no mech combats to speak of.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was because I was so burned out from the first book
Right.
with mech combats that I wasn't ready to do more. But that
Yes.
allowed me
There
to
was a
do some,
bunch. There was a bunch.
yeah. So, but I was able to do some espionage and a
Yeah.
lot of character building, and also, obviously having Justin getting to see his family, but
Right, right.
you know,
So actually, there's a
not dealing
there's
with
a
it. Yeah,
great question on chat I want to ask from
sure.
Jeremy Thompson. Justin Allard's struggles with people's reactions to his heritage was great and set a tone for BattleTech fiction. Why did you pick this as a core theme?
Oh, that's a really great question. For me, just as an individual, I have always uh, just been just I have not liked prejudice. I have not liked intolerance, and yeah, look, I'm an old white guy, right? So, so I don't run into that at all,
Right.
except for two experiences that I had again in the early '80s. One when I'd moved out to Arizona because I grew up Catholic in New England in a town where the groups were French Catholics and Irish Catholics,
Right.
and then you're Protestants. But
Right.
I remember coming out to my car one day in first summer I was in Arizona, and there was an vehemently anti-Catholic pamphlet under the windshield wiper,
Wow.
and I had just never in my very innocent life faced that.
Huh.
And then shortly thereafter, I was on a trip to the UK for a gaming convention,
Hmm.
and I was in a train car. And again, I count myself as being Irish American,
Right.
and I'm just chatting with a mother and her daughter, uh, and suddenly the mother, this is an older mother and an adult daughter, but suddenly the mother starts going off on how dirty the Catholics are, and or how dirty the Irish are.
Oh.
And for me, I'm sitting there as I'm a visitor in this country,
Right.
and I've got somebody, bad mouthing me and my kin and everything like that, but I don't dare say anything
Right.
because that could be
Right.
trouble, and I'm a long way from home.
Yes.
And and so those two incidents, as mild as they are,
Yeah.
sort of, were enough to hit me very, very emotionally,
Yeah.
to feel that pain. And this is the thing about being a writer, as well, and everything else. Your job as a writer is to be a translator of reality, and to
Oh,
layer
that's a great
into it,
turn of phrase. Yeah.
but to
Yeah.
layer into it the emotional and the intellectual, so that you make it so other people can understand and empathize
Yeah.
with what these characters are going through. And these characters suddenly become essentially play tests of life strategies,
Right.
and how you're going to cope with these things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if somebody goes back through any of, I mean, if you go back through my catalog of literature, the vast majority of the books, at least 80% of them, have got an anti-prejudice theme or
Yep.
sub-theme,
Yep.
running through them.
And of course,
Um,
Justin gets it. I'm not going to spoil anything for those who haven't read this yet, and I find it hard
right,
because there are people, but I know they're out there who haven't. Justin, of course, gets it from both sides
right, right.
in the course of his career, where he ends up with Lao, and
Yep,
then he's
yep,
facing the new prejudice from his former family, and then
right,
and on the other
right.
side, of course, he is the interloper. He is
Yep,
the
yep.
infiltrator, the person who doesn't belong
I,
there either. Yeah.
I have a friend who used to be in law enforcement, is also black, and as he noted, he's too black to be blue,
Yeah,
and he's too blue to be black, you
yeah.
know, and
Really
so
existing
so
astride those two worlds
right,
exactly.
exactly.
Actually, okay, we have another one. So first, I want to pay you a very interesting compliment from Slager Law. These are notoriously decent books.
Wow, there you go. That, that,
Notoriously decent.
that's good. Yeah, that's gonna be my epitaph. Notoriously decent writer.
But
Yeah.
but he follows up with, "Oh man," he says stacked. I guess we're gonna call you Stack now. So there
Okay.
you go. Can you explain the meaning behind the Kellhound arrow jock stating the Panthers, and this is a quote, the Panthers hung there like balloons and on guard. I don't know if they're even reading this, but if you are, boom. So do you remember that reference?
It sounds like a reference I would use. I don't remember it specifically, but you have to remember I wrote those books 35 years ago, and there have been a lot of words get buried under there. But yeah,
I'm assuming
uh,
it's a dropship reference myself.
well, it is pretty much a
Yeah,
drop ship reference. Yes,
exactly,
absolutely.
exactly. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Okay, Madcat 352 is, I think, leaping forward to Blood of Kerensky. My favorite scene is Phelan's Wolfhound versus Vlad's Timberwolf.
Right.
And Phelan's computer jumping back from Catapult to Marauder. Oh, as it shows Madcat, the first
Yes.
confrontation. Always like that scene. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
this is, I think, one of the classic scenes written in BattleTech. So, you know what? That's a great segue. So, you have Warrior under your belt.
Right.
And the reviews and the reaction, I assume, are positive, obviously, because
Well, we're not reviews, but the reactions are positive. Yeah. This was the dawn of time.
Dragonlance, they didn't get these out for pre-review or anything. They
Well,
couldn't-
it wasn't a question of getting them out for pre-review as much as these were gaming books. Why would they be reviewed?
Oh
They're
yeah,
not literature.
tell the Donna story when you
Oh
first
Jesus!
did it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. So,
So you gotta
it,
share this one.
the editor at FASA, Donna Ippolito, uh, uh, the first call I got, I had sent in Warrior on Guard, and the first call I got was Donna, the editor, going, "You know, this is like a real book." Yes, yes, in fact, it is. No, that was on the job description, wasn't
I'm pleasantly surprised.
it? Right.
So Warriors out,
Right.
and they come back to you. And I've never talked on about how Kerensky has always been a warrior. So they come back to you with like, hey, we want to do this. So tell
Well,
me how Blood of Kerensky came about.
so literally, what ended up happening was, FASA and FASA Interactive were creating the pods, which are right over here off
Right?
camera,
Yeah, we have
right
the
over here.
first time at Adepticon, by the way.
Right.
Yes.
So they were creating the pod, so you could literally sit in a mech combat cockpit and drive it, and because of this, they had created Omnimex.
Right.
So we had to be able to introduce the Omnimex and introduce this brand new technology with new weapons
Yeah.
and things like that into a universe that had been in an entropic spiral.
Right.
So we had to have this influx of new technology, hence the creation of the clans.
Right.
And so when it came time to look at doing that, um, it wasn't going to be we could introduce this overnight
Yeah.
because we had just we'd have to have a chance to rebuild everything like that, consolidate.
Right.
So we called together the first of the development summits.
Yeah.
And so it was Jordan and Bob Charette and Ross Babcock and me and a couple of other people were there. I think Sam Lewis.
Was Bill Keith there too?
No, Bill was not.
Not for that first
He was
one.
not
Okay.
there.
Okay.
And the six of us were in Ross's apartment in Chicago because it wasn't too far from FASA.
Right.
And we sat down and hashed out what we were going to do to push the universe forward. And the initial question we had to answer was, is it going to be a 10-year jump or a 20-year jump? And I remember Jordan saying, "So, Mike, is it 10 years or 20 years? What do we got?" And I said,
right.
because I had the spreadsheet in front of me, and
Yeah.
and I said, well, if we go 10 years, we got Dan Allard and two other guys.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
If we go 20, we've got all the children.
There you go.
And it was like, okay, 20 years it is. And
Boom and done.
yep, boom and done. And so that was it. That was why we decided to make that jump, and then
Yeah.
we just built the universe, and
And that just really changed, I think, almost everything because you had this influx, this massive. The threat is literally you leap from Warrior's a great introduction, but this one's like all it's for all the cards. It's
Oh
where
yeah, yeah,
everything
yeah,
hangs in the
yeah, yeah,
balance. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
It
yeah.
was all stepped up. It was,
So
the difference between a AAA baseball team and the World Series.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Do you think? I mean, honestly, I'm going to ask you a brutal question.
sure.
Obviously, it would have been extremely difficult, but do you think you could have done as well on this one if you hadn't had Warrior to cut your teeth on first?
Oh, and I think that having done the Warrior books made this possible and so much better.
Yeah,
I think we
yeah,
could have done a pass on this, but one of the things that that was really really important is that in the Warrior books, I got to introduce a bunch of characters and I got to play with and sort of extend the development of a lot of set characters
yeah.
so they really became mine.
Right,
And
right.
those were the characters then that had to carry these. I
Yep.
mean, while you're bringing up Victor, Hans is still there,
Yes,
and
yes.
so
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 that interaction can happen.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
So if those characters hadn't been built up and set up in the Warrior books,
Right,
they never would have been in the position. They never would have been that strong, and we couldn't have done the things we did in the Warrior books
right.
just because we wouldn't have that foundation. We had not explored
Yes,
the universe
yes,
that
exactly.
much.
Does that really set the tone and
Yeah.
the groundwork for these ones?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was an imperfect analogy. World War One, World War Two.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
I think that's
So
actually a pretty sound one in my opinion.
yeah. Yeah.
Pablo, I want to answer your question about earlier about the trilogy or spine novels in the Ill Clan era. Things in the Oakland era are moving so fast, it would
Right.
be kind of difficult to tie up an author for 3 books. However, we have what I consider spine novels, like the
Yeah.
forthcoming Trial of Birthright.
Yeah.
I think is very definitely a spine novel because we finally returned to Terra.
Right.
After 3 years of real time and after Hour of the Wolf, we're going back there this year. So we're going to reveal what's been happening on the birthplace of humanity.
I,
So
I
yeah,
I think it's also really really important to note that we've been doing the seminar development meeting stuff that
yes,
we were doing back in the olden days, and the real difference and the reason that the trilogy of spine novels is not as important anymore is because we have a lot more venues. I mean, you were able to put out the standalone novellas, the
true.
novels, the
Shrapnel,
collections, and
yes,
shrapnel,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that literally, to my mind, this is just my impression as we talk about all of this stuff, we're getting the spine novel fiction and development that we always would have.
Right.
It's just spread out between more authors that we never had the opportunity because we never had the stable before to
This
be
is
able to
also
do that.
true. I mean, I'm not relying on just one author anymore.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
the other thing is honestly, there's so much going on.
Yep,
It
yep.
would be impossible to cover in one book.
And the other thing which is really really cool about having all the different authors and all the different things that we're doing is
Yeah.
that we get a chance to work together and just pass things back and forth.
Yes. Yes.
So,
It is a collaborative universe, which is fantastic.
right, as you guys look down in, it's going to be a pretty tight weave, but you're going to be able to follow some of these threads and go, "Oh, I lost yellow over here, and there it is."
Right. Well, my
So,
previous meeting before this one was with three authors talking about their interweaving stories and how this one
right.
chapter is going to go through all three of them.
Yep. Yep.
Jeremy Thompson. Okay, here's a Jeremy follows back. Notoriously decent enough that I decided the Warrior trilogy was the first novels I've been reading in German while I learned German. So there
Wow.
you go.
Wow.
There's your compliment
Well,
right
that's
there.
yeah.
That's
Okay.
fantastic.
That is
You've got two people asking, Mike, what has changed in your style from back then to now? As in
that's a,
writing style, how you approach a book? Yeah.
sure, sure. That's a real good question. So I think now I'm a lot more comfortable handling stuff that's a little bit more nuanced
Sure.
in terms of the development of the characters. I also think, especially with BattleTech, the universe has matured to the point where we
Oh,
can
yeah.
have those.
Yes.
One of the things we've been talking about this whole weekend is that I've been doing the Death Kangaroo stories and
Which I love.
right and
So much.
Brian is doing the Foxtails. Back when we were doing these books, there was not room in the universe, there was not space in the universe to be able to do that sort of
Or
material.
shades of gray kind of characters. Yes.
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
And stuff on those lower levels. I mean, when you look at the Death Kangaroos, these guys are basically a roving street gang.
Yeah.
And
I mean, maybe a couple steps above that.
they're
Not.
aspirationally they're a couple steps above that, but realistically, no. But the point is that we didn't have the freedom to have those smaller scale stories because we had so few spaces to put
Right.
things out
Right.
that everything had to count for more.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I mean,
so
you're really setting things up for long
yeah,
term, but that foundation didn't
yeah,
leave for nooks and crannies like the Fox Patrol,
right,
like the Death
right,
Keepers would fit into now. But
right.
I'm really, really happy we have such a broad
Absolutely.
foundation that we can bring in different aspects of it. Yes,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure, for
yeah.
sure.
And that's the other thing I think stylistically where I've grown, is also as the universe has grown, characters can be more nuanced.
Yes,
They can have other issues other than just uh are we going to defeat the bad guys?
right, 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 right.
And I mean that really, you can go back and you can look at Nelson Geist in Natural Selection. All of a sudden,
Yes.
here's a guy who's not having the "I have to be a hero" problem. He's
How
got
far can
other
I
issues.
get?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
exactly.
making the choices I'm making to
Yep.
survive, and
And
how, if I have to go, how am I going to end it? Not spoiling
yep,
again.
yeah,
Natural
yeah,
Selection was
yeah.
a tremendous
But
novel.
but
And
but
his
I
arc was just
oh
unreal.
oh yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
incredible.
I mean
Yeah.
this is a guy who's got literally got family problems.
Yes.
Which were just the sort of things we never addressed before
Right.
because
Right.
that was the universe wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Dan. I saw that comment. We have multiple authors. Where? Aren't you one of them?
No,
Grumpy.
no, no. That's just another one of my pseudonyms.
Grumpy coming in more homeworlds. Grumpy, I really hope you back the Mercenaries Kickstarter because you all helped us launch the War of Reaving trilogy, which is of course all homeworlds.
Right.
That will be coming out. The books are being written now, coming out. I'm not exactly quite sure when, but they'll be coming out soon. So that should three authors in a trench coat.
Yeah.
So that should be looking forward to that, and we'll have more on that as well.
Yeah.
I want to talk about so Mike, you've been involved almost in every aspect of it.
Sure.
Now we're coming into the new age of the Ilk
Right.
clan, and I just kind of want.
Right.
I'm curious to what your thoughts when we started moving forward. Of course, you were at the
Right.
summit where we decided this was
Right.
going to go forward.
Yeah.
And what is your opinion of what we've done, the source books, the novels, and all that stuff?
the thing which I really liked about the last summit, and the direction that we're going to be going with the universe is that, and I had told Lauren this, as Lauren and I were up by the blackboard, we were figuring something out. Everybody else was in the room just chattering away, and I just turned to Lauren and I said, "This is the way it used to be. This has the feel of what we used to
Yes,
do."
yes.
And so the turnaround, the energy, the
Oh
attention
yeah,
to
it was
detail,
so invigorating.
it
Yes,
really
it was.
was. The opportunities, and so it was really funny. One thing in the as we were in this summit meeting, we were plotting out what was going to be published where, and we were
Right.
just slotting all these things in. And there's one point where Lauren just turns around because I was watching from far, and he goes, "Hey, there's nothing for you in here. Where are we putting you in?" And it was just because we got so much talent and so many people that want to be doing these things that is really easy to fill out a schedule.
Yes, yes,
So
it was.
so
Yes, sticking to it for me sometimes is another option, but yes, it's filling it out.
oh yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah,
see.
yeah.
Question from Jennifer Bixby. Hi, Jen. With Michael, would you ever write a character with obvious autism? That's interesting.
Um, I would not be averse to it. I haven't had that much experience of people with autism.
Right,
You know,
right.
so so as with any other character I try and write, they would take a lot of research.
Yes, yes.
When I was doing when I was doing the X-wing novels, I
Yeah.
I do not fly a plane, but you dive in, you do the research and get it down. I think that would be fun. I think the trick for me is finding a story where that would be the character wouldn't just be there as a token,
Right.
that this would be integral to them, to their development, to their life story.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, yes,
But it would
absolutely.
just take some research. It would take
It
some,
would take
yeah, yeah, yeah,
research
yeah.
to figure out the right place for it, and then
Right, right.
I mean, you don't want to do the oh yes, and now we're going to put the autistic person in a position where they can solve the day, and then we shelve them again. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
the
no.
people
Right,
are not
right.
wrenches. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Okay, Madcat352. Will the Capellans go to war with the Wolf Empire? That's interesting. It's more of a Ray question, to be honest,
Right,
but
right.
maybe. I
Yeah,
don't know if they. I think the Capellas have bigger targets in
I,
their
d- I,
sights,
d-
as far as I'm concerned.
I don't think they're
So
compelled to do it, but
no,
but then
no,
again, when have the Capellans ever not been willing to go to war with
yeah,
anybody?
yeah,
I
and
mean,
the
deliver a pizza late to
and,
Cyan, and you're suddenly at war.
and let's face it, the Wolf Empire is not in a really strong position, so it's
Right?
it's possible. It's
Yeah.
possible. Let's see here. The Mike Whitaker. This is interesting. The world is moving very fast in terms of real life versus in-universe time back then. Mike, maybe you can talk about this. I pitched a novel set in 3056, started March in mid 90s, but had it rejected because FASA was already commissioning 3065. Did you guys were you moving quickly along timelines like real world time equals 1 year equals 4 years maybe? Did you have,
We
or
were.
was it a loose kind of moving things
It
forward?
was. It was. It was almost a year for year.
Yeah,
That we were looking at. And the way the meetings would go, we'd have a development meeting and come up with a 5-year plan,
yeah.
and then but we would do one of those every 3 years.
Okay.
So
Wow.
so that
Yeah. So
b-
once that's kind of locked down,
right, because
you're
we
moving
had
out of the
things
old one into the new one.
right,
Yeah.
and to give an example, Thomas Marek not being Thomas Marek
Right.
was something that happened in midstream. I literally was writing that novel and went to write the chapter where we were going to have the revelation about the DNA test.
Right. Right.
And it struck on it. The question came to me, going, "What if he's not who everybody thinks he is?"
Yes.
And
Yes.
I called Sam Lewis, and so that was
Yeah.
a sea change right in the middle of one of our 3-year
Right.
plans. So
Right.
so we were being that
You
flexible.
gotta bust in. So Rem from Catalyst Game Labs has popped into the chat, and I need to get this to Rem. Rem, if you could please get on socials that we are doing an author signing this today, Friday at 3 p.m. with Mike Stackpole, Brian Young, Phil Lee, Randall Bills, let's see, Rusty Zimmerman, and whoever else I can cram into a table. So that's Friday, 3 p.m. today, author signing for Battletech novels
At Adepticon.
at Adepticon.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. It's a
You
live
do have to
signing.
be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have
So,
to be
yeah.
present. So,
Yeah.
by the way, Mike Whitaker, just want to let you know we are still looking for authors, and Shrapnel is our portal. So you might want to go jump on and just type
Yeah.
Shrapnel submissions, or if
Yeah.
you already pick up the reading, we look forward to seeing a pitch for a short story or a short story from you again.
This is the one difficulty about working in a tie-in universe
Yeah,
where they have plans and they have an arrow of time.
right,
Is
right.
that if you are not in that planning cycle, you can't know what they're looking for,
Right, but
and that
Shrapnel
and
still covers
yeah,
all eras, so
exactly.
you can start writing your 3056 maybe short fiction,
Yep,
and that
yep,
might
yep,
actually lead to something, and you never know.
yeah.
So let's see. Okay, we have a question from CR. What's going to happen to the exiled wolves that came home? Are they just going to be stuck in Omega Galaxy to languish in obscurity? We should probably figure out. Yes, they came home, and at some point, someone should probably tackle exactly how they're going to go moving forward. That's a good
Sure,
question.
sure.
Honestly, I haven't given that a lot of thought, but at some point, someone should probably tackle that. Yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
true.
There are a lot of moving parts, and that's now one that's
Okay.
in an orbit
Yep.
somewhere.
Yep. Yep. Let's see. Dennis Burner, autistic spectrum, toward a giant range. Yep. I think you answered the autistic question.
Right,
It's an
right,
interesting point. We
right.
obviously don't want them to be a token. We do not want
No,
them to be just a tool to problem solve. We want
right,
them to be
right.
a fully realized character, because
Yep, yep.
that's what the stories in this universe are about. It's characters. So
Absolutely.
you can have all the big snowy robots in the world
Yep.
without characters to care about that are piloting
Yeah,
them
yeah,
or doing diplomacy
yeah.
or leading a nation.
But
The story's just not there.
But the
It's just
idea of
that
doing
simple.
a neurodivergent character,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Right, yes, Jeremy. Writing about mental health is really tricky to get right. That's absolutely
yep.
correct. Yeah. Just popped in. Is the video borking out or anywhere else? Just on my end, I think Ryan, our great technical person, if there's a problem, he'll be handling it. Yep, yep. Let's see, Mike Whitaker. I know there are shorts sitting here in Scrivener. Great, man. Polish one of those up and
Yep.
hit us up. Do hit us up, man. Absolutely. Let's see. Any chance the Lyran Alliance makes a comeback? From what we've been talking about, I think that is if I shook the magic 8 ball, it'd be outlook cloudy. So we have plans for the Lyran Alliance, but I'm sorry, plans for the Lyran Commonwealth.
Right.
Let's just say an alliance the way you're talking about it is probably not in the cards. And I'm only going to hint obliquely at that. So because we have plans for that, but it's probably not the alliance you're thinking of.
Yeah.
So we're
This is not the alliance you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. There will be an alliance. It's probably not the one you're assuming. So yeah, but yep. But we have plans for the Lyrans. We have plans for everybody. So yeah. Let's see. Is the word of Blake gone for good? Well, if you read Ghosts of Obadiah, I don't know.
Uh,
They made a quasi appearance in a recent
right.
which I believe is still canonical. I'm not. That's a Ray question. Um, actually that segues into I was going to mention it on the fiction panel, but I'll give a teaser. They are as far as I know. That's more of a game side question. As far as I know, they are gone for good in the current era. But I am launching a jihad era fiction line because there was literally very little, almost no original fiction produced during the that era because WizKids didn't have really that was WizKids
Right.
time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't really either they weren't thinking about it or just didn't have the capacity to produce it. I want to produce that, so I want to go back to that time and rework that. As a matter of fact, just talked to Jim Long
Oh, very
about
good.
that, and he's very interested in coming back. So
Oh,
we are
cool.
going to be talking about stories that may constitute the resuscitation of one of the more famous mercenary units. That's all I'm going to say about that.
There you
But
go. Yeah, it would be
we
good to have Jim come out of retirement.
Yep,
Yep.
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 I
Yep.
would welcome him back. I thought those novels were terrific, and I'd love to see more
Oh
from
yeah.
those.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. He's
yeah.
good. He's very good.
Let's see. Daughter of the Dragon filled with neurodivergent characters, as I recall. Yes, that had a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Are there book stories already locked in for the new wave of jihad? Oh, just what I was just talking about. That is a discussion right now. I am. I am. We are in discussion about how we're going to approach that. I have some possibilities I'm thinking of. The way to start kind of in that is pick up Quest for Jardine, Herb Beatus's trilogy that just came out in paperback and an omnibus. That is a great kind of jumping off point for the Jihad. He did a terrific job with that. So
Very cool.
that's kind of our launch point, and we're just going to go kind of full steam from there. A question for Stackpole. Oh, this came up earlier. What periphery would you most want to write new fiction for?
Well, I did. Uh, I had written some stories for the harebrained.
Yes,
Yeah.
which we've been talking about.
Right.
Are those periphery settings?
Those are periphery settings. Yeah.
Wow, I
And so
love
that was
periphery. I
so that
wish
was
we
a lot
had
of
more
fun.
periphery
Yeah. Yeah.
fiction. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we've been talking about bringing those back,
Yeah.
and I'm
And
going to announce it here. I think we're going to do that.
yeah, and
We are going to do that. Yes.
and I think with the Death Kangaroos, I built in enough time and space,
Right.
that it would be possible to do stories in the periphery, play around. It's
Yeah.
just going to be what. You,
We could talk about the RC story if you want to. I'm going to do it, assuming your agent
well,
will
that
answer my
technically
call.
would
Yes,
be periphery. That's true.
exactly. That's
That
what I
is
was
true. That is true.
assuming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
you want to mention that now?
Well, by all means.
Uh,
Yeah.
So yes, Mike and I are in talks with Mike's agent to bring him back for novel-length BattleTech fiction, which I'm extremely excited about.
Right.
And Mike, that novel would be
Well, that would be just chronicling the adventures of the Red Corsair.
yes,
That
yes,
first time out. So.
yeah. So which would be very exciting. It's basically
Right.
Catherine,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Or Katrina.
Katrina and Morgan and Arthur
Right.
running
Right.
around the periphery,
Yep.
just going
So it would be
cover unquote.
it would be it would be a prelude to Kellhound's Ascendant.
Yes, yes,
So
exactly,
yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
So
So that's
yeah, so it's not finalized, but we're far enough along that I feel very positive, and I'm so excited. Mike has done great work for us. In short, in our target box, you
yeah.
had the Spanner in the Works
Spanner in the
story,
works. Yep.
and it's just like I have to get more from this man. So we've been
Yeah.
talking about it. Just got to reach contract terms, but we're very far along, and I feel very confident that it's going to happen. So I'm
Yeah.
thrilled.
Yeah.
There was another earlier question about periphery fiction that someone asked about where would you want to set something, and I for one love kind of the outskirts of the Wild West,
Right.
and I'm trying to get somebody to take on Abdun Recall, the Bandit King up at the top of the periphery. He's going to carve out his own empire. I feel that story really needs to be told, so I got to talk to some of my authors about
Right.
who wants this basically, and I think there's a great story there. So that's one thing I want to do is as the editor, I want that story to come out because I think that character is going to be fascinating.
Sure. Sure.
And again,
Sure.
that's a character back in the day would be very hard to get out in fiction, but
Oh yeah.
now
Yeah. Yeah.
it's wide open. So
Yep.
let's see what else we have
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Who Mike kids? Yes, yes, someone took him on
Well, and
a long time ago.
I actually have two agents.
Oh,
Because I've got a foreign agent
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
and I've got a domestic agent. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Let's see. Question from Blightbringer. What happened to the escaped Knights of the Spear after the Clan Wolf became the Ill Clan? Will there be a faction like Remnants of the Republic that wants to take revenge? It's funny you should mention that because yes, that is a kind of a big part of Trial of Bloodright.
Yep.
What? Birthright, not Birthright. I'll get your title right one of these days, Mike. Um, Trial of Birthright. So yes, it is a very Terra-centric novel, and you'll find out what's been going on there
Yeah, just
since the conquering.
don't let anybody kill Mason Dunn.
Well,
Yeah,
oh yeah, you don't know. Okay,
yeah.
things happen. Yes.
I know where you live.
Jose Suarez question: anyone writing anything about the Scorpion Empire? We did have a story that was supposed to be, I think it's from one of the Kresge cons. There's a story, Jose, I think it went into a shrapnel issue, and I don't remember exactly where. We published it about the Scorpion Empire. I'm open to that. Scorpion Empire is kind of an odd little thing
Sure.
that I really like. I think they're very different, and
Yeah.
I'd be open to more fiction about that. I'm just not sure. It took the words. Oh, okay, two people bought Scorpion Empire. All right, I'll talk to Phil. I'll
Well,
talk to
that's
more
a
people.
landslide.
Hey, two is like a
It
plurality,
is.
more
Oh
than a
yeah,
plurality.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Jeremy Thompson, heck, what also happened to all the rest of the military hardware and personnel in addition to the Republic's Knights? Well, a lot of it was destroyed because the battle for Terra laid waste to whole swaths of things. So,
Right.
but we'll answer a lot of those questions in Trial of Birthright. Takes so little to make authors happy. Just get this
And you giving us
name.
cue cards. That's what we need.
Yeah,
Write those all out.
exactly. Oh, there's three plus one more. Okay, now we've got like overwhelming
All right. Well,
Scorpion
that's
fiction, obviously. So
three.
yeah,
Three is the total
yeah,
landslide. Yeah.
exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
yeah.
All right.
So let's
All right.
scrap everything and just do Scorpion Empire.
Daniel, I'm always open to writing more Scorpion Empire. Well, I guess we'll have to talk about that. I know you've got your own work group you're doing too with Silent Briefers, but we can chat. We can absolutely chat. So yes, apparently there's an underserved fan base that wants more Scorpion Empire. So I guess we'll talk about that. So yeah. Folks, this is how you get things done. You talk to us on chat. Say, I want this. The whole Clan Homeworlds, Scorpion Empire. So I actually want to talk to you. I have a question for you, Mike.
Sure.
In the 35 plus years, wow.
Well, yeah, I know it's scary.
Now it makes you feel really old.
Well, you and I both were child geniuses, so
Yes,
this
yes,
is
yes.
it helps.
Is there anything, I'll talk not about future stuff.
Right.
Is there anything you felt that you wanted to do in the past that you either wanted to do or you felt was a missed opportunity in the Battletech universe?
Well, originally Natural Selection was supposed to be the Red Corsair novel.
Right. But
So,
then I think was it Barnes and
well,
no, it was Tumblr?
no, it was Rock. Rock
Right,
did not want to
sorry,
do any
right,
flashback things.
Yeah, they were all about moving forward.
They were all about moving forward. So there
we
is.
get to do it now.
So we get to do it now.
I'm ecstatic about.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Was there anything else that you don't even that's not even on the table that you can think of?
No,
it was too outlandish or direction that you're like, oh, I thought it'd be great, and it got shot down. I'm just out of curiosity.
No. The nice thing about being on the team that's determining where the universe is going to go is you're shaping the kind of stories that you want to write.
Right.
And being in the room, you get to say, and those are mine.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Twilight of the Clans, it was like, we've got, 8 novels, I think it was, and it was like, yep, and I'll take that one, and I'll take that one, thank you. So, yeah.
Right. Let's see. Oh, Doc Swift is, yes, Doc, I think, wrote the other Scorpion Empire. And Jose actually has a shrapnel entry for the Scorpion Empire. That's awesome. And Mike is correct. If you wanted that badly, go write it. And that's true. And who knows? Maybe you'll be in the pages someday. Let's see. For streaming big Shane Lane Isles fiction, I'm sorry. Do you know what that is? I'm not even aware of that.
No.
Well, Jeremy, there you go. There's your setting. Let's see. 88 miles per hour. I'm trying to write the tale of a house with the entire timeline of BattleTech. Wow. Would there be any interest in a novel short story series like that? I mean, we do have the minor houses. We did something with House of Rano, which was a tie into the game.
Right.
It's not outside the realm of possibility.
Look,
something like that would have to be approached with care.
Here's the situation when working in any tie-in universe.
Yes.
The editorial.
You have?
I mean, the editorial staff has got to know that you can write.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we all, I think, any of us who are readers, we all think, oh, this would be a cool story in that setting.
Right.
But if you don't have the experience enough to put together an absolutely functional story on your own, you're not going to have you lack the skills to be able to do this in someone's tie-in universe.
Right.
Now, I think Shrapnel and doing shorter fiction is an excellent opportunity for you to cut your teeth in the universe, for you to learn about writing, and to actually get paid for it and published.
Yeah.
And so if I wanted to do stuff with a minor house what I mean, look, Death Kangaroos are exactly that same sort of thing.
Yes.
Start off
Yes.
small stories, get to know the characters,
Hmm.
build them, and then you get to build them out and expand them a little bit further. And
Right.
it's getting the camel's nose in the tent. The camel's in the tent, but
Yes.
you start that way.
Yeah.
And John, I've worked with John forever and ever and ever.
Yes.
Um, Sharp editor, and a good judge of talent, such that if you are able to deliver on a timely basis, if you're not, uh, I'll tell everybody out there, you want to kill your writing career, be a prima donna that complains about editing. Okay? Be make yourself a thorn in the side of your editors. A great way to have a career that extends forever. Um, you know, don't look, this is a place where you're going to be learning to craft really, really good stories. John is great at spotting what needs to be done, how to pull these things together. So avail yourself of that opportunity. Start small and work to big. Don't figure I want to be
Yes.
there.
Yes. I
Um, you know,
strongly recommend starting with short fiction because the thing, and I've written my share of time universe,
yep, yep,
several
yep, yep,
novels. The thing about writing in someone else's universe is that you don't have complete creative control. You're
exactly.
working with other characters, and they have to sound like what they did in previous books. The setting has to match what in previous
Yep,
books, the
yep,
technology, everything like that. So shrapnel is a great way to cut your teeth. Don't give us your 800,000 word magnum opus because about the star spanning, book 10 book. That's not going to work. That's not
right,
going to work.
right.
Mostly because a lot of it's already been told before,
Yep,
and it's really hard to find new ways of treading that ground.
yeah,
So, but start small and absolutely build up. We do short stories, we do novellas, we do short novels,
yep,
we run the gamut, and eventually show a willingness to be flexible
yep,
and work with us to deliver what I need on time, and you
yep.
could see your name on
I,
a BattleTech novel
I mean,
someday.
to use the Death Commandos or to use the Death Kangaroos as an example, I've John's got two of the stories. He knows that I got outlines for half a dozen more,
Yep.
and that there's a story arc where we will be bringing them more tightly into stuff. But
Yes.
it's a gradual build, and the key thing is to have stories that are fun
Right.
and are BattleTech
And
stories,
huge
not
to
just
the
stories.
universe. Yes,
Yep,
exactly.
exactly.
So there's a great question by CR. What is your position on alternate timeline BattleTech fiction that explores roads not taken? So literally, it's like you're in my brain. We were literally discussing this over the past weekend, and it's something we'd obviously have to approach with a lot of caution. But I would be really interested in doing a kind of what if,
Oh yeah,
just like
yeah.
an anthology.
Yep.
It would not sustain a novel,
I've
but
got a story about the Kellhounds as a punk rock band, and just saying, I just, Battle Max with big medical,
yep,
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, I
And then
think
we'll
that,
get George from Mad Max.
yeah, yeah, that's right.
Absolutely, George Miller.
Yeah, that'll work.
That screenplay writes itself.
It does. It really does. Yeah,
It's the next
yeah,
logical step.
yeah.
So it's a possibility. We have to wrap up some anthology projects. I have
But
to
look,
I
like
have to run out of time.
Brian Young and Sierra Vella are already writing their rock mercenary
There you
novels.
go.
So
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I don't know. I think you've claimed that now. The Hellhounds rock out.
right. Yeah,
There's the
but
title.
but come
Yeah.
on, they're going to follow on whatever I'm doing
Yes.
anyway.
Yes.
So it's going to be a
Exactly.
whole
Exactly.
universe.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to say definite maybe on that. I always thought it'd be fascinating. What if Mars never came to power? What if was it Richard? No, Simon. What if Simon
Yeah,
Cameron
yeah,
never
yeah.
died?
Yep, yep, yep.
What if we're 400 years later? What is House Cameron up to? It
Yeah,
changes everything.
yeah. What if Alexander
Many
Kerensky? What if Alexander said, "Oh no, children, stop now"?
right, right.
Yeah,
What if he never left?
yep,
There's so
yep,
many
yep,
inflection points
yeah,
that take the Inner Sphere on a completely different trajectory.
yep.
That
Yeah.
I think Tales writing just a collection
Oh, sure,
of
sure.
that would be fascinating.
It would be. It
So
would be.
it's something I have to approach, like I said, with great care. But it's possible. It's possible.
It's-
Let's see. Madcat352. Where can I find the Death Kangaroo stories? Well, the first one was given to all the backers of the Mercenaries Kickstarter. So if
Right.
you're a backer, you should have it. Mike has already written a very expansive sequel that I have to get through editorial.
So we can have it at a Gen Con.
Yes,
Yeah, just yeah,
that is
yeah,
the tentative plan, which I think is doable. I think it's
yeah,
doable.
yeah,
Yep. So and there's you've got you told me ideas for 6, 7 more.
yeah, yep, yep,
It's
yep,
going to
yep.
be a whole series. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
told him keep writing them. As soon as he turns them in, I'll put them out. So yeah,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to the collection. I think I might be able to release yours now.
What's that?
The first one I should put out Night
Oh
of the
yeah,
Lake
yeah, yeah,
with maybe a bit of a new cover. Yeah,
Well,
we'll do that to differentiate itself because it's just
but
a Kell House.
it's only about 8,000 words, I think.
I've done short fiction by itself before.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
so
You know, that would
I
be cool.
I mean, it went to 24,000 people, but there's probably a few that still haven't read it yet. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
might
yeah,
as
yeah.
well get it out there. So
Sure, yeah, okay.
absolutely. So yeah, the Kellhounds rock out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I need the flame guitarist for the Death Kangaroos death metal band. There,
Oh, absolutely.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
I think it's got to be where they go undercover as a rock band.
Oh, are you kidding?
Oh
From
my
now,
god.
no, right now, the next Death Kangaroo story, Coral is going to be playing with some musical instrument.
Oh,
We're gonna foreshadow this thing.
yeah. Let's see. Craig, talk about the influx of AI stories that have infected the market. That's more of a Phil. We're going to have Phil on a fiction panel, and we will talk about that. I don't think we've seen a lot of that because BattleTech is such a specialized universe. You
Yeah.
can't just throw prompts and get in a BattleTech story.
Right. Right.
It is a concern of ours because eventually I think it will get to that point that people are going to try to
I, I,
flood the slush.
they may do that. Here's the thing that I see with AI stories and stuff like that. AI cannot have a bad day. It
Yeah,
cannot have an emotionally positive day or
right.
emotionally negative day. And it can't have the little serendipitous things that happen in life that we writers use to fuel stories.
Right, right. It's very
And
true. Very true.
and as a result, these stories may using an AI to write a battle scene,
Yeah.
that's great. But using AI to write the emotional reactions, unless they're pulling those wholesale out of a previous book and slamming them straight in, which is illegal.
And
Uh,
also going to have the dissonance too because it's not going to fit.
right,
You
right.
can't unless someone has to match that.
Y-
AI does
Yep,
not have the capability to do that.
yeah,
So yeah, but it's a concern. I know several magazines have had to close their submissions because they just get inundated with,
right.
to be honest, crap, AI crap.
But you can, at least for me, I can tell it when I see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah, yeah,
real
yeah,
easy to
yeah.
pick out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's see. We have a couple of questions. Let's touch base on this.
All
A
right.
couple of questions about Den of Wolves,
Okay.
founding of the clan. Yes, because Lauren has been here, we've been talking about that
Right.
amongst the three of us,
Right.
and I
Right.
think we have
Right.
a plan moving forward. So we're hoping to
Yeah.
get that back on track.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's certain events that have
And
happened that have kind of,
I will take the hit on the delay about that. You know, with things like COVID. My mom dying.
uh,
Other little things just kind of get in the way.
yeah, yeah,
But schedules, the ability to move forward.
yes,
Finally,
absolutely,
where we
absolutely.
can do that.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping to get that out to the backers this year, and then publish for the wider audience as well. So yeah, let's see. Mike Whitaker, talk about fitting stories inside big existing canon. That's a good one.
Sure.
Do you find it a struggle to hook things in, or do you get moments where story strands hook up with a satisfying, unexpected clunk, and like, oh, I can't believe that just happened?
Um,
I'm going to toss that question right to you because that's a really good question.
Yeah, well, this goes back to what we're talking about with AI and serendipity and being able to recognize it. There are times when you'll be researching we were talking about earlier with Warrior Riposte. Uh, for the first Morgan scene, I was just looking for an out of the way world,
Right, right.
and it turned out, it was a desert planet. That's great. And that was enough to spark that whole opening scene for me.
Yeah,
So sometimes you're just lucky, and yes, that is absolutely glorious. And then there are other times that, like in the Death Kangaroo stuff, Brian has been working on Galatea. He created a cathedral there. I was able to pull that over. We decided St. Michael's is the mercenary cathedral.
oh my God,
And
I
so
just got the St. Michael's reference.
yeah, but Saint Michael is also the patron saint of mercenaries in
Oh,
the Catholic
oh,
mythology. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
mythology there. All
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. So
Nice,
but
very nice.
we're able to work those things, tossing them
Yeah,
back and forth, and that really ties the universe together, and I think creates warm fuzzies for the readers as well,
right,
because they
right.
recognize out of this story, going, I wonder, is that the same? I guess it is. Yay!
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Exactly,
So
exactly. Let's see, and you mentioned yes, Brendan. Oh, any?
I
Okay.
apologize, everyone, but we're trying to break into the stream.
All right.
The truth will be
Anyways,
coming to
so
all of you very soon. We have two special correspondents coming, and all of the mistruths and lies will be washed away. Join us in 10 minutes when this begins.
Make that happen. It's
Yep.
going to be a thing.
Yep.
I'm very
Yep.
excited
Yep.
to get a new novel by Michael, so that's the plan. And got
Yep.
some little things to iron out contractually, but yeah, it's we're almost there. There was, let's see, okay, great, Fred. Let's see, like me with you. Okay, so are we still going?
What's that?
Are we still going?
Let's pretend we are until they tell us we aren't.
That sounds good. All right. Let's see. So, still open for questions. That was perhaps the most genuine reaction to a planned interview I've ever seen.
What was that?
Welcome, Bungle Tech. Okay, that's a
There we
great title. Bungle Tech, a BattleTech podcast.
there we go.
For you just joining us, we are here live at Adepticon 2024. We are in the streaming booth from Six Sides of Gaming.
Yes.
With
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name now. Tommy Gofton and those guys are
Very
doing
good.
a great
Very
job doing our tech and
They
everything.
are.
I'm sitting here with the esteemed author, BattleTech author Michael Stackpole, as I guess we're heading into our second
Right.
hour. Thank you, Michael.
This is sort of like live coverage
No.
when something's
I'm
burning.
making fun of you if we're doing this right now. So
Yeah,
yes.
I know.
Yeah, you can run, but you can't hide, sir. No, anyways, I'm sitting here with Michael Stackpole talking about the history of BattleTech. He has been around since the very beginning, the very first novels. He has been instrumental in the clan invasion and just
Right.
kind of basically creating the universe that we all know and love and play in for 40 years, which is unreal. Okay, that leads me to a great question I just thought of. When you first started this, when you first finished Warrior On Guard,
Right.
did you ever, in your wildest imagination think you would be sitting here talking about these same books 40 years later?
No. 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 I mean, I knew. I was very thankful for the start that FASA gave me,
Yeah.
and I knew as long as FASA came back and asked, I would do something. I would constantly be happy to do something for the property, for BattleTech, just for the love of it and having devoted so much time to it.
Okay.
But did I ever think that it would be here and it would be this big and seeing this resurgence? Did I ever think that there would be plushies? Oh my God, no.
Right.
Well,
Right.
there was no word as plushies back then. It was stuffed animals.
It's a whole new
But-
industry. Yeah, exactly.
But and for me to see that with the Kellhounds or Death Kangaroos logo on it and stuff,
right.
it's stunning and wonderful.
Yeah,
So
we have these fantastic ceramic mugs.
yeah, oh yeah,
with emblem logos of clans and great houses.
Yep.
I never thought we'd have that.
No,
You know?
I agree. I
Okay,
agree.
Let's see. Jagreen Lem, is this the actual Michael Stackpole, or did Rom just replace both of you with body doubles? Let me talk to Tom Star. Just one moment. I need to get the right answer. So that's a great comment.
That's true. That is true.
Let's see. Kai Conshock, and I'm apologies if I didn't got that name right. Someone says turn the volume up. Apparently, there's a comment. Turn the volume up. Put a schedule on screen. Oh, schedule on screen versus breaks, Michael, please, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much. Let's see, from Kai Contract, again, apologies if we get that name wrong. 1, what is the next step in the Ill Clan era? All right. 2, will we ever see a TCG with organized play? Wow. And 3, no battle movie. Okay, what about Shadowrun? Wow, you're asking the big questions.
Wow. Yeah.
I think we're doing a panel with Ray later on talking about the Ill Clan era next step. So I'm gonna punt that one.
Okay.
2, will we ever see a TCG with organized play? I can neither confirm nor deny that at this time. 3, no battle movie. Okay, what about Shadowrun? The media rights for both properties, that is a whole other topic of a panel that would take an hour to describe. The short answer is, as much as we would love to do either one of them, that because of the complicated rights issue, it seems that is impossible unless there's a major change, and that's all I can really say about that.
Yeah.
I would die to see BattleTech on the big screen or the small screen.
Oh yeah.
I actually think it lends itself to television better than a movie.
Yeah.
The complicated rights situation, it just seems like that's a mountain that we can't climb. So let's see. Okay. Bungle Tech asked, question for you: do you ever put intentional conscious effort to not connect things? I personally find it is human nature to try to find connection in things but sometimes things just exist alone.
Right.
Michael, what do you think about that?
No, we have in the past at developer meetings and stuff like that very vehemently and definitively said, no, there is no connection here. We will not. And from a creative point of view, the reason for that is this: there are some things that all the fans have already figured out
Right.
in their own mind, and they've got their head canon
Yes.
for what
Yes.
this is. They've connected the dots that have never been officially connected.
Right.
If we connect those same dots, we're not adding anything to their experience of the universe because they've already got in their heads. So
Okay.
our job is to give them stuff which is new, entertaining, surprising, shocking, and gets them thinking about what those implications are.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, Rogue Dex. Can't wait for the Mexican Men Stackpole interview. I guess they've already announced that. Yes, we had dinner with the wonderful guys
we
putting
did.
together the Mexican Men podcast and talked at length about
Yep.
having Michael on, having Brian Young, myself. I need to make an
Right.
appearance as
Right.
well. We are very excited about them. They're a great bunch of guys. You should all check out their podcast. And
Absolutely.
the great thing, which I'm very tickled about, they're doing deep dives on the BattleTech novels. They are all about the fiction, which I
They
just
really are.
find incredible, just absolutely incredible. So yes,
Yep.
go check out
Yep.
of Mexican Men's
Yep.
podcast. And okay, folks, that is going to bring us to a close. Michael,
Very
thank you
good.
so much for being with us.
My pleasure, John.
Again,
Always.
there is a live signing with Michael Stackpole, Brian Young, Rusty Zimmerman, Phil Lee, and any other authors. Brando Bills at 3 p.m. on site at Adepticon.
Right.
For all of us at Adepticon and Catalyst Game Labs, over to you. We want to say thank you for watching, thank you for playing, and above all, thank you for reading. Thanks very much.
Bye bye.
Good afternoon, fans. My name is. It should not be shared. My identity must remain secret for our purposes. But we are broadcasting live from Adepticon. I know you are looking forward to seeing Michael Ciravella and Ray Arostia talking to you about lunchtime secrets, all of the secrets of the Battletech universe, giving you the opportunity to give us questions and see what might be happening. Unfortunately, we had to break in to tell you the truth of the Battletech universe. This is your hard hitting reporting. This is your opportunity to get your inside scoop on the world. We will no longer allow the deceptions to move forward, such as Roy, it is a pleasure to see you here. Thank you for joining me. I know the danger you must be in.
Always. Always danger, always pleasure.
Absolutely. So, I know you actually know Ray Arostia personally. Is he truly the hero and great among men that we have all heard?
No, he's a bit of a dick.
I can't believe that. I've seen the statues. There should be more statues. This great. This is great.
Don't believe the lies.
Don't believe any of the lies right there. That is wonderful. Oh, we are getting signals that potentially our safety measures may have started to fail here. They may be seeing exactly who we're looking at. Oh no. We're going to have to go forward. We're going to have to check this for ourselves potentially. But while you're doing that, any of the questions that you would have had for Ray or for Michael, please put up on the screen right here. The theory of this wonderful time is sometimes the interviews don't get the hard hitting aspects. Please let us know what you'd like to know. We will give you the behind the scenes look as far as we can. Some things must remain secret. But that is the wonderful thing. We're going to start from the very beginning right here. If you had to ask, we've already got our first question. What evil forces are keeping the Urban Mech 2C out of plastic?
I think it's General Motors out of Cathil. Yeah.
Potentially, would we see such a unit in existence?
It is possible. Never say never.
Are there any units that you, with your in-depth knowledge of Ray, actually would potentially never see in plastic?
Never see in plastic?
Unlikely to see in plastic. Never say never. When it comes to Catalyst, you can never say never.
Hmm. Some of the larger vehicles, some of the larger support vehicles, yeah,
Okay.
would be
Is
real
that
on the
is that
list.
a technical? Is that a production aspect, or is it just
More of a demand.
gotcha?
Demand.
Okay, now they're coming hot and heavy here, right here. When will we get the Omega in plastic? Or is that the same theory of you've got a baseball?
If we start to visit the Jihad again, we already announced that we have the Celestials, a pack of Celestials coming up, and we'll see how they do.
And how do you feel? That's a good question before we dive into. How do you feel about the Celestial line? That was a very interesting one for our purposes.
I think they're really really cool. They're essential to the Jihad era gaming, and it'll be really cool when we have those out again.
Absolutely. And hopefully, we will be talking a little bit more about the Jihad era and Jihad era fiction tomorrow at the same time when we hope to bring you the truth in our fiction seminar. But coming back, what mech from the Jihad do you want out that isn't out or planned?
Light Ray comes to mind. I'd have to go through the list and pick out my favorites, but Light Ray is one of the ones that definitely comes out to mind. And the name is escaping me. The one on the cover of 30, 30, I think it's 58. Upgrade.
Yes.
I'll have to get back to you.
Fair enough. All right. So I already reverse engineered the Irby Lamb using the Alpha Strike cards. Why not just give it an official classic record sheet?
We'll see.
We'll see. Good answer. Where is Arthur Steiner Davian?
He is in the deep periphery with all the remnant Mani Domine.
Fair enough. I want this one before it pops off the top of the screen. The Ambassador mech. Is it canon? I've always wondered. 15 tons, slightly bigger than a proto mech, no weapons. I don't
No,
remember.
I
I
have to.
remember seeing that at some point, but
I'm not familiar with that at all.
any chance of a plastic Grand Crusader?
Not anytime soon, but yeah,
Will we get more aerospace minis?
that depends on a number of factors, but I would love that.
We do love our aerospace. Uh, Word of Flake Lambs to go with the Celestials. There were some pretty ones, to be fair.
They are lower on the list than the classic lambs.
Legitimately excited for rumors of Ares in plastic, but being able to use the metal Ares as a bludgeon is a plus. That is fair. Uh, April Fool's Battletech and Leviathan's crossover manual.
That's a good idea.
Ooh, somebody's starting to trying to pick a fight here. Who is the coolest Battletech staffer? I think I'm sitting next to him. Not that I'm saying that I'm sitting next to anyone in particular.
Well, I could answer that, but I'm not going to
Wisdom, great wisdom.
because I have to work with all of them.
That is very fair. But each and every one of that team is absolutely magnificent.
We have a great team working on BattleTech today, and I'm really proud to be a part of that team.
Ooh, speaking of plastic, any chance we'll see some periphery designs like the Pensalea? I hope I said that right.
Not anytime soon, but of course we would love to get to them.
This is a good one because I actually missed it the other day. What Capellan representation in plastic can we look forward to and when?
The soonest one to look for is the McCarran's Armored Cavalry pack, mercenary pack. They will have Capellan designs in there.
I believe also that we see one of the Mac commanders, one of the McCarrans in the Devastator in the Legendary pack. Am I correct?
That's right.
Excellent. All right, we have an Aaron K. Hall. Sorry, all, what I missed. What are the secrets? What did we? What would we?
Well, the
announce for his
biggest
purposes?
secret I could reveal is that Aaron Cahill is actually the guy that runs the line.
Ah, I see.
He just sends me to conventions.
The face and the voice of BattleTech, absolutely. So does that mean he's working on the new Universe 2 book, Electric Boogaloo?
Yes.
Ah, see. All right. Will we ever see an BattleTech space combat game in the Alpha Strike style? You gave us record sheets but no rules. Can we change it?
Well, we have the rules for that they were published in the Alpha Strike Companion, but we didn't really see a need to reprint them in the Commander's Edition. We're hoping at some point to repackage those rules and release them as a PDF.
Sounds good. What are our plans for the next Kickstarter?
There's several plans. None are solidified. There is no next Kickstarter being worked on right now, just several things being worked on. And next Kickstarter might not be a miniature Kickstarter the way the last two were. There's all sorts of possibilities.
Any chance? All these are connected. Heavy crab based mech or a 4 crab mech pack?
Not to my knowledge.
We might need to take some of these out of order right here. From David Kerber, update on cloning tech.
No such luck. There's a long line of people to clone.
The sheer amount of tests that we're going to have to run on the original, we'll have to look into that. Where can we get the reunification packages if you can't make it to a convention? That is unfortunately a Randall question, but we will pass that one along. Any chance of official art for the Scorpion Empire's Rhino, considering a con pilot's one?
We don't really have a place in the near future to drop that artwork.
Who caused Grey Monday? I don't know if we've ever said it out to the world officially.
Well, we haven't nailed it down yet.
Fair.
But there are several contenders, and it's just when it'll become interesting for the story to finally reveal that.
Excellent. Excellent. So we know, but we're not telling you. All right. Will there ever be a plastic model at which you can change the configuration, quasi an omni plastic model?
No plans right now, but I've been pushing for that. I think that would be really, really cool.
Hot take. The Marauder is a cousin to the Crabs, but isn't in the family. Fair.
Okay.
That question is a distinction without a difference, Bungle Tech. Nice try. Next scale Rattler Lamb that transforms into a dropship when?
That's a really good example of the type of thing that we will not make.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. When will you make a new member of the Marauder family? We've got the Night Star. We've got the Marauder. That's a really cool
Dragonfire.
family.
I don't see anything coming, at least not until we actually get all of those into plastic, the existing ones.
Gotcha. Any chance we'll get more canon TO&Es like the ones from the old Twilight of the Clan scenario books?
Not very likely. The closest that we do are company or battalion size in the Spotlight on PDF series.
Gotcha. Maelstrom art rework?
I think that's on the list.
Nice. Okay, where will the Euro Hub be? I don't think we've got that answer for you yet.
No,
Are
that
you
is
the
a
only
Lauren
one that
question.
wants a redo of the Imp?
No, it's been requested several times, and it's come close. It's been cut off from the list twice.
This was a adjustment from the earlier question. Potentially a battle space, aerospace fighter style Alpha Strike. I think they're looking for if it will be like an Alpha Strike game of battle space with the plastic fighters.
If we were to do something like that, it would be much farther down the line where we have a new core aerospace game.
True.
Once we lead with that, we could revisit aerospace and capital battles in Alpha Strike.
Nice. Any chance for the Solaris original mechs? Great Turtle, Aqua Gladius, the like.
Any chance? Yes, but they're nowhere on the list at the moment.
I'm going to assume that's similar for industrial mechs.
Yep, we'd love to do a pack of industrial mechs, but it's not anytime in this near future.
It's all about the priorities on the mechs, absolutely. What about mech scale dropship carrying cases? Maybe with lights and sound buttons?
Sounds cool.
I wouldn't want to carry one around, though. Is the Matador on the list for eventual plastic?
Not in the near future. And the same goes for. No, someone asked about the Grey Death Standard Battle Armor. I think they are on the list a few years out.
Nice. All right, I like this one. What is your favorite Battletech product that has been released this year?
This year so far?
Yeah.
If we say will be released, it's got to be the BattleTech universe. If it's right now, this is what we have: the Recognition Guide Volume 2, which collects the Recognition Guide PDF releases. It has all the brand new Ilclan era mechs and all the upgrades to past battle mechs and vehicles, such as we've got all the Clan Omnis in here. We have classic vehicles and new vehicles. Sorry, I have no idea how this is looking. And Inner Sphere and Clan Second Line upgrades, as well as battle armor.
All right, but that is actually a great point, though. For if you've already gotten your printed copy, we already have a secret for you. Look to see what's on page 6. The greatest secrets are on page 6. All right, then. Any plans for a new RPG campaigns for A Time of War and Destiny?
Not soon. We have something in the works, but not soon. Nothing we can talk about yet.
A few of those questions are flying past, so if we miss yours, I do apologize. Will we ever get a Capellan mech with a Dow sword?
I think so. I think so.
Whose idea was it to get the Kaga battle armor on the schedule? I would like to buy them a drink.
It was a group effort, but
Drinks for everybody.
yeah,
I support it. Animated BattleTech shows? Question mark.
I would love to see it.
Will there be an official system that bridges CBT and Alpha Strike, like the one from Death from Above Gaming? Some people find CBT too slow and AS too light.
So a third system? Uh, can't say at this time, really. No.
The porridge is either too hot, or too cold, folks. Plans for getting a full series of the Mad Cat family in plastic. I love the BattleTech Legends look of the Savage Wolf and would love an updated model.
We're working on it.
Is it me or is the audio cutting out? It may be either way. It also may be. I do apologize. My voice started going the other day. It is much improved for everyone who heard me yesterday, but it may be cutting in and out slightly. So I do apologize. Can I hope for more iconic mechs, battle armor, tanks for the faction of BattleTech, samurais for Krita, bear mechs for Ghost Pair, and so on?
Little by little, yes.
Is there a chance to see the Atlas 3 in a few years in plastic?
I would like to see that, yes, but it's not in any of the next couple years.
All right. Reprint of the Alpha Strike Commanders Edition this year or next year?
Should be this year.
This year. Very nice. Is there any update on the BattleTech graphic novels?
Yes, I think John wanted to talk about it later on the show.
I think we shall. Wonderful. More of the truth coming out. Do you have a plan to update older map sheets from pre-Catalyst times, trying to collect them all?
Yes, but not in the format that they were previously published. So what I mean by that is in nearly every set of maps that we've done, the new maps, we've taken some of the older ones and re-illustrated them. Trying to keep the same old names, but in a few cases the names have changed, even though it's the same map layout. So we're doing that little by little, but they won't be collected the way they were before. Map set 1, map set 2, 3. They're just going into our newer sets.
Very nice, very nice. Um, will Lauren ever stop putting Capella over the other houses?
No.
No way to know. Ray is probably closer than I am. Ever likely to see a Timberwolf A in plastic? It's really tough to do all of those.
Yeah, it's possible. It's definitely a possibility.
Any chance of seeing Dark Age Ill Clan models?
Yes, those are on the list.
And this one's the one that popped up a few times. When is the SLDF Force Pack coming out? Potentially what month? I know that's been a shipping item as of late.
Yeah, it's done. It's produced. It's held up in shipping right now. I can't say what month. It was planned to be within within the first quarter. We're still just within the first quarter. All I can say is soon.
Soon. Have you ever thought of OmniMech packages where you can choose the variant you play, like the jump option? I don't think. What goes into that sort of situation? I know how difficult it is just with a regular sculpt with Scroggins and his team creating each and every one of them right there. I can only imagine the nightmare that would be to try to do all these various interlocking pieces at that point.
It's more of a production issue than a design and sculpting issue, and we would love to do that. We've been experimenting with a couple of the packs coming out in the Kickstarter, and moving forward, we try to push more and more to give that sort of options within the packs. But what you're asking for, which I would love to see, there's nothing in the near future for that. But we keep pushing the boundaries.
Will the Jupiter mech be in plastic soon?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Can we hope that the new novels may be translated into other languages? I believe that's a John Helfer's question. I believe he'll have one for tomorrow. Blood Spirit, new sculpts?
I know Randall wants them. but again, that's low priority.
Can you thank Randall from the German fans for finally finishing the Clan Founder trilogy? He started in the early 2000s.
All right. Well,
Unfortunately, we cannot. The Randall Bills that is here at Adepticon is a clone. We've kind of misplaced the original. We believe he's somewhere between here and the West Coast, probably on a highway somewhere. But you can get a patch from literally anyone who you shake their hands. Will we ever see a mech scale dropship?
yes.
Can you talk more about the revamped mercenary handbook coming? I like that question.
Ooh. Um. Um. Well, it's a callback to the very first one. So what this will be is a book about how to create narrative campaigns. So it's more than just building a mercenary group and running the mercenary group. It takes that core model of rules and fleshes it out so you could make your own house unit, clan unit, mercenary, pirate, and so on, and create and run campaigns with the same core system. Depending on what sort of campaign you're playing, it'll have different added flavor to it. So you'd be able to do the mercenary campaign with um, contracts and that sort of thing.
Very nice, very nice. You will be offering the two aerospace salvage boxes for sale again outside of Kickstarter add-ons.
I do not have the definitive answer, but based on the prior one, I would say it's very likely yes.
Would you guys consider an RPG adventure submission system like FFG had for Genesis, where you can submit adventures for approval to a community market?
It's something that's been discussed.
Any timeline on the novels translated from German to English? I know that's a
That's a John Helfer's question.
Where are we in the near future on protomechs?
Not sure I understand the question, but protomechs protomechs are relegated to just a couple factions that use them now, and mostly relegated to the end of the clan invasion era and the jihad era.
So we're not going to be seeing a Battle Strike Alpha Strike box set protomechs next week.
Correct.
Find it now in your local Barnes and Noble. Uh, uh, are there any new German publishers for BattleTech in the foreseeable time? We will send that over to John Helfers. Tune in tomorrow. We got mechs that originated in MechWarrior 4 or Mech Commander in CBT. Will we get MechWarrior 5 or BattleTech exclusives as well in the HBS version?
Um, no, that could change, but no.
Would you ever consider a box set based on voting by fans, or is that an insane nightmare to think about? An insane nightmare to think about.
If it could be structured the right way, yes, I would. Instead of a vote, it would be a pre-order, right? And highest pre-order amount wins, because we've seen in the past that any sort of internet polls, whether official, semi-official, or otherwise, don't necessarily reflect sales. So it's not necessarily a nightmare to organize. It's just not the right way to do it.
That is very fair. Can we expect more premium miniatures? Maybe one for each faction.
Yes, and possibly yes.
Campaign books for Ill Clan are in the progress to bring the era more forward.
Yes, that's correct.
Merc handbook covering all eras, I assume.
Correct. It'll be era agnostic with optional information there to run things in specific eras.
Time to make sure you all get enough food, water, and rest. Do not want someone dropping on the convention floor. We can certainly try, and that is a wonderful thing for our purposes. Can we make the rock cannon? Thank you.
Thank you.
The secret code did come through.
I'm not sure about that rock question.
The rock protomech is canon already, right?
And I'm wondering if they're asking about something else.
The Rakshasa in plastic?
I didn't want to choke on that question. I'd like to see it. Um, won't happen anytime soon, though.
Will we be getting other CBT legends like Victor Steiner Davy and Daniel Allard from the novels as minis and Mech Warrior cards?
Yes, we're always trying to do that. Victor, in fact, we have a card for him, and I could swear that we did Dan Allard with the Wolfhound. But the answer is yes.
Nice, nice. All right, folks. All right, we've got quite the list of various mechs in plastic. We may want to switch over to some more thematic stuff. You've got this wonderful gentleman right here. I think they're all figured out that it's Ray Orostia, but at that same point, I didn't say so. But please, you've got the line developer here. We can get the in-depth questions and the burning questions filled. Any chance for more Solaris stuff?
Yes. Yep.
Excellent. All right, Ray. While we're waiting on this for a quick second, can you tell us a little bit more about the Universe book? I know you've been talking about it for days, but I also know that it has quite a bit of reason to talk and be excited about this.
The Universe book is a primer for the BattleTech universe, especially for people that aren't familiar with it. It gives them a really decent overview of what the universe is about, its history from, you know, current day to where we wind up in the Ill Clan era in 3152. It gives an overview of the main factions that have either been around for the whole multi-century ride or the factions that are most or I should say, new to the current era. And it's a I think it's a must-have for any of our current audience, just because it encapsulates all of what is BattleTech into just a nice coffee table, beautifully illustrated book.
Excellent. Lore question that you can maybe answer. Does the Wolf's Dragoons have a Kerensky honor name?
No, no,
Oh. Will we see an updated Solaris box set?
no, or at least not anytime in the near future. But there is no. We've got lots of plans for Solaris, lots of brainstorming, lots of things that we could do. But as far as the idea of just taking the old box and revamping it or revamping those rules, we probably won't go in that direction.
There. Any word of Blake stories in the pipeline?
Any?
Word of Blake.
Yes, we have Jihad fiction coming out. John Helfers, when he's on again, you could ask him about that. He could talk more about that. But I'm really excited to say that we're gonna start publishing Jihad fiction.
Is there any chance of putting out a deck of pilot cards that are not part of a force pack?
Um, it's possible. It's something that we've talked about.
Figures for Destiny, a time of war, or maybe some kind of deal with Hero Forge so we can make minis with neuro helmets and the cooling vests?
It's something that we constantly discuss. It's something that we want. It's just a question of how we make it happen.
Any chance of putting more of a focus on the major periphery factions? I'd love to see more Torian Calderon Lev.
We will see more for them, more from them. Um, just
The
again, the
periphery is the
periphery is the
periphery.
periphery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true. Does Battle Force tokens in the Kickstarter signal that more Battle Force is coming or planned?
No, I would not say more Battle Force is coming, but we continue to try and support it how we can.
How much of license or have a license rights nightmare is House Arano currently?
Zero.
Zero.
As a matter of fact, they're in the universe book.
Will we be getting more GDL novels?
Probably.
Any updates on the companion app?
That I don't have any information on. I'm sorry.
I like this one. What is the biggest challenge of your role?
Not enough hours in the day.
What is your pie in the sky product you would like to put out?
Actually, this question comes up a lot, and the issue is that sooner or later, our pie in the sky products get made.
True.
Um, in which case, I would have to say the next thing I would love to see, but it's, nowhere near even starting. Um, would be a brand new Aerotech game.
Excellent. A new Aerotech game would be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Are we going to see more official missions or broad competitive or tournament guide rails? Maybe have CGL weigh in on or end the format wars?
That is something that's planned for the future. Yep,
All right.
definitely.
Any free Raslog Republic in the pipe?
Rasselhag Dominion, yes.
Gotcha. Any more love going to the Scorpion Empire's war way in the future, or we had their moment in the sun?
We will definitely see more of them, but again, they are a deep for state.
With the new mechs coming out, will we see more rec guides going forward?
Probably not.
Oh,
The rec guides serve a specific purpose, and if we have need of the rec guides again, we may use them, but most likely we'll come up with a new format altogether.
weather planetary condition decks.
I'm sorry, what?
Weather or planetary condition decks.
I think that would be really neat. I don't know that there's much call for it though. But we did a little bit with the initiative deck.
Hmm. Randall talked about 3D printed building sets.
Hmm.
Oh,
There hasn't been much movement there, but yes, we want to do that. What we've been looking for is someone to partner with that could handle the selling and producing and shipping of all that. Um, but yeah, we definitely want to make use of the files we've been generating.
what's something you're proud of putting into BattleTech or influencing?
Um, okay, two-part answer. First, I have really, really tried not to insert anything of mine or anything personal into the BattleTech IP. I'm its custodian. It's not my personal playground. It belongs to all of us. So I've tried really hard to not personally influence it in any way. But if I could answer that more broadly, I'm really proud of the work I've done over the past couple years to kind of um, keep the storyline moving and sort of shepherd everybody into the new era.
Excellent. Interstellar Players 4 book planned.
Yes.
If you had to place yourself into the Battletech universe, where would you be? When would it be? And what would you do?
Well, I would probably choose to do something within my existing field, something within production, something within gaming. I choose one of the Golden Five in the Federated Suns, and I would pick a real nice, safe area. So later succession wars, I think it's good. I would not be a mech warrior. I would not go out to war. I would not. No, thank you.
A very accurate and good question right there. Any plans for the new Smoke Jaguars?
Yes.
Ooh, some people want to pick fights. Is there a job you wish you could create at CGL but haven't been able to justify it?
Sure. Sure, there's plenty, and it's not necessarily an issue of justifying it, but yeah, the IP is growing, the company is growing, and we really could use more people in in other capacities, not simply another writer or artist
Agreed.
or developer, but in other ancillary capacities.
Any update on canon character database?
There is some movement there. I can't really discuss it at this time, but yes.
Any thought on ever producing an art of BattleTech? Does CGL hold the copyright on the 80s and 90s FASA art?
Yes and yes.
Has Target asked for a follow-up product to the Essentials box?
I don't know if I can answer that question one way or the other, but to my knowledge, it's done really well, and Target was happy with it.
New Bounty Hunter when?
Soon, soon. In fact, you have something to do with that as well. I don't know if you have anything to say, but from both of us, yes, new bounty hunter soon.
Yes, actually, well, some of these secrets have already been revealed. The Legends 3 box is actually the Bounty Hunter box,
Mm-hmm.
right there, showing several of the new mechs. Not necessarily new mechs, but some new mechs and some new characters from the Bounty Hunter over the years, up to and including into the Ill Clan era. Also, hopefully, we will be seeing some supplemental fiction in that realm, and potentially even hearing more about the Draconis Combine moving forward. You'll have to keep watching to find out. Oh, I got a little lost in there. New Black Marauder when?
I know it's being worked on. I know that there may be 3 or 4 more stories before the cycle ends, so I know it's being worked on.
Ooh, I like this one. Any chance Kitsune Kurita, Victor and Omi's son, and or his 2 daughters show up in the Ill Clan era?
It's possible. Yep.
Uh, okay. Who do I contact about an adjustment to my submitted canon character?
You'll have to wait till we do a call for that again.
For those wanting to recreate the Black Widow Battalion, will there be updates to the Hornet, Falcon, and Imp? Asking for a friend.
Not specifically.
Okay. Excellent, excellent. All right, folks, we've got about 15 minutes to go. We're still taking questions right here in our lunchtime secrets hour. Once again, I am here with Ray Arostia. Whoops, I said it again. Well, secrecy has never been our high point right here. That works out pretty well. But we are here live from Adepticon. My name is Michael Ciravella. I've got my voice back. Boy, I just can't. I'm not doing this right. Please do not message the campaign regarding canon characters.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. So all of that is good.
Will we ever find out the fate of the Oregon Reach in the Ill Clan era?
Oh,
Yes, as a matter of fact. Pretty sure that will go into Ilkon's eyes only. There might be a mention of them.
very nice. Very nice. Very nice. All right. If we have any other questions, folks, pop those up right now. As we said, we've got about 15 minutes left, and then we'll be jumping into the next of our Iridani Light Horse scenarios. Once again, those are connected scenarios. Yesterday, we had a wonderful ELH victory, and that we will be capitalizing on that today as we deal with more battle with the Draconis Combine. Today's game has Michael Stackpole, Brian Young, Big Red 40 Tech, and, well, of course, wonderful art director, Brent Evans. So we'll be seeing that in about 15 minutes. All right, some new questions right there. Will there be a Minnesota Tribe revival?
No.
A Minnesota Tribe Forest Box.
No.
Minnesota Tribe book on tape.
Nope.
Lunchbox.
Yes. We'll do a lunchbox.
You heard it here, folks. Oh, while we're waiting for a quick second, though, Ray,
Mm-hmm.
you do such wonderful work. You've got such a magnificent team who does such incredible stuff. You
Yep.
put out the Universe book, which we all know nearly killed you right there. Product after product. Randall has shown off the list of all the force packs that are planned out right
Mhm.
there. Number one, when do you sleep? And number two, is there anything you want to say to the fans out there? Is there anything you want to let them know? Because this is their time to communicate with you. You usually are deep down in the dungeon right there, but you're out in the sun, and we want to recognize you and appreciate you.
Thank you. Um, really, all I want to do is say thank you to all of you out there that follow us and support us and appreciate what we do, and um, you know, just thank you for all that. And feel free to reach out if there's anything that you do have an issue with, or any questions you may have, or whatever. My virtual door is always open, and I really like discussing this IP with people. The BattleTech universe is a big part of my life.
Okay, we'll pause for a moment while Aaron K. Hall puts up "Do Not Message Ray" on the screen. Uh, while we're doing that, Ray, why is the Minnesota tribe your favorite group? Aaron wants us to know.
Well, they're one of the mysteries of BattleTech. BattleTech has plenty of them, and just like real life, there's plenty of mysteries that we will never be able to get an answer for. And it's just fun speculating.
Gotcha. Can someone go back to the website recognition guide entries and list each of the guide's specific contents and make buying them easier? Huh.
Um, well, I don't know about that. Yeah, I agree it would be easier. All I could say, for those of you that do know and are familiar with Sarna, you could find the contents listed on Sarna, but um, I don't know about if we'd be able to go back and change those on the store.
Fair. Shattered Fortress reprint.
Personally, I don't think we will reprint that, but that's high on the list for print on demand. In fact, I was confused. I thought that was one of our first ones that we did print on demand, but it will be available again in that format, so you'll be able to get a copy.
Will we be seeing any more books featuring the Northwind Highlanders?
No. The question is, will we be featuring any books that don't feature the Northern Highlanders?
Highlanders.
Yeah. So yes, yeah.
What mech did Dr. Bonsai pilot?
I don't remember, and it's stuck in my head that it's a Hatchet Man, since the Hatchet Man was one of his creations, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
A lot of appreciation for Ray. We appreciate you all. Thank you. The blood needs some love.
Okay, noted.
Uh,
Shameless Warrior 13 says the Bonsai Pilot of Phoenix Hawk. Okay,
nice.
thank you.
Any chance of a Linden's Battalion rebirth?
Unfortunately, no. It's something that's already come up and discussed, and they were one of the few that were destroyed over Mars by the word of Blake, and we've looked into it. There's no solid way to bring them back, and they are definitely missed as they're one of the original core mercenaries in the setting.
If you were introducing someone new to BattleTech with a universe book, is there a particular section or feature you would show as something that would wow them?
Yes, but that depends on the person. It depends what their interests are, and assuming they're your buddy, um, you might know exactly where to go. You might skip to the faction section and point out one of the clans to them. Maybe they have an affinity for wolves, bears. You might show them a particular point in history that's pretty cool, and it'll get them to dig in. You go right to the Comstar section if they're very conspiracy minded. So there are plenty of places. It just depends on who you're showing it to.
As a Monte Diablo veteran, will there be something like it? A worldwide scenario that flows into the lore?
Yes, we hope so. Hmm.
Any plans on publishing the record sheets on an MUL?
Yes, there are plans. Can't tell you when, just something that we want to do.
Excellent, excellent. All right, folks, we are wrapping up. We're in our final 5 minutes, so get your final questions in now. Any extra support vehicles you would like to see in plastic? Airships.
It'd be pretty neat.
That would
But
be pretty.
again, that's that's kind of what I was pointing to. That the larger support vehicles is probably the last things that you'll ever see from us. But I think it would be very cool.
Very nice, very nice. All right, folks, we are going to wrap up right now. Once again, we would like to thank our wonderful guest, Ray Arostia, line developer for Battletech, for taking the time right here and putting through the secrets so you can come to the truth right there.
And a quick shout out to Aaron K. Hall, my assistant line developer, who's been on the chat with us, sort of helping wrangle things. Thank you, Aaron.
Always providing support and always there for you, Ray. You have no more devoted protector, supporter, or anything else than dear Aaron, and we do appreciate you for that. All right. Will you ever redeem the only clan that followed Kerensky with honor, the Jade Pelicans? Nice.
I would say check out the Sudetan Falcons.
Mhm. And this one came up yesterday, so we do want to get that one before we jump out. How about a force black from Shrapnel for Shrapnel necks?
Maybe.
Maybe, maybe. On that wonderful note, we're going to wrap up right here, and you can come back in about 5 minutes to see our next game, which is ELH round two. Just for the record, the schedule was a little difficult. Tomorrow, this will be a 2-hour session coming in, not 1 hour. So if you'd like to watch and stay tuned, we've got some other fun, exciting stuff tonight, and the schedule keeps shifting a bit. Lots of new surprises and good things, but we're hoping today looks nice and steady. Stick around. You've got a lot of great stuff. We appreciate you. And live from Adepticon, have a great day. My name is Michael Tirabella, and I'm coming live from Adepticon in Schaumburg, Illinois. We are now back. For everyone who was with us yesterday, we were doing the fun series of connected campaigns involving the Iridani Light Horse and the Draconis Combine. Yesterday, we were wonderful. We were happy to see a decisive Iridani Light Horse victory, and we are back today for the second mission. Once again, all of these interconnected scenarios can go either way. We were not expecting to do this scenario yesterday, and who knows which one we will see tomorrow. But we've got a star-studded cast here. Supporting the Iridani Light Horse is the Grandmaster of all Battletech writing, Michael Stackpole, and Brian Young, the magnificent author of such classics as Honor's Gauntlet and A Question of Survival. I loved Honor's. It was Honor's Gauntlet, right?
Yeah, no, that was my
Okay,
first
I'm
battle.
sure I didn't say that wrong. And on the opposite team, watching very carefully to try to eke out a victory, is art director Brent Evans and Big Red 40 Tech. Today is going to be a wonderful battle for our purposes here. Not only is it, this is going to be the breakthrough. We went from nearly a defensive battle yesterday, but today the Iridani Light Horse units are not happy that the Draconis Combine is bringing the fight to them, even if it is an unknown mercenary unit. That's all right. The ELH will take the fight to the Combine soon enough. All right. Because this is a mercenary war chest campaign, they had the opportunity to spend some of their victory points yesterday to repair some mechs, improve some of their pilots, and have some fun. We're going to try to show that behind the scenes work today as we get close. We had the damaged Starslayer rearmed and repaired, rearmed the Quick Draw, rearmed and repaired the Caesar, repaired the pilot of the Ostol, always a tough thing, and then help to rearmor some of the other mechs. So we're going to jump in just a quick moment. We will be watching the chat in between. So if you have any questions, feel free to jump in. We will try to get to them when we can. But until then, the next 2 hours will be the fight of the century. Thank you all, folks, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Well, hi, everyone. I guess we're going to be playing a game of Battletech.
Welcome.
I have a different partner this time. I guess Mr. Hansa, he just couldn't quite cut it.
Couldn't handle the
He
pressure.
undermined me at every turn last game. I saw it for myself. So this time, I've got Brent Evans on my side.
Hansa suspiciously died.
Suspiciously.
We cannot explain or deny his location at this time.
No one's sure where he went.
So the scenario here we're doing, you all have we're taking the fight to you, like Michael said, and you have hidden units on the map, and you're set up wherever you want to, and our objective is to get the Eridani Light Horse from this side of the map to that side of the map, and hopefully not die. I don't like our odds, especially with your setup. It's
Aggressive.
it's aggressive,
You're
yeah.
being very aggressive.
I feel like
You
you
know-
guys are being passive-aggressive towards us.
Well, that may be, but you're being aggressive toward us.
We are. We definitely are. Absolutely.
So now we get to...
for the honor of the dragon. We are.
So I won initiative every single turn last game. We
You're definitely rolling this.
No, we got absolutely smashed.
Really?
Yes. So that means you're rolling initiative this time in order to stop that terrible luck from happening. So
Excellent.
it's time to now roll
It is time
initiative.
to roll initiative. Looking you in the eyes as I roll.
I'm terrified.
I got a 5.
I got a 7.
See, this is a bad omen.
No,
Screwed.
it is not good.
You bastards, yeah.
They have us where they want us.
So they get to move onto the board now. So their first movement point is obviously the board hackers.
Absolutely.
And then they get to do whatever they like in that respect. We're doing 2-2, 2-2, 2-2 for initiative.
I like that. That's
So
good.
just giving you a heads up.
Okay.
You want to move
This is
4 and then
last
4?
game we did 2-2.
Last game.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Aha.
So we move 4 and then you move 4?
So you will move 4, then we will move 4.
Okay. No.
Because we don't, our hidden units can't move.
Right.
So they don't count in the initiative order. So they move 4, we move 2, they move. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we got to move 4 first.
Yes,
That's even better for our side.
absolutely.
Okay.
Ooh, what's in
Well,
which
Mike,
goodies?
where do you think is going to be the path
More
of
dice?
least resistance?
We don't need it.
Well, look, and the easiest place to get off the board is
There's some
straight
very
down the
well
middle,
worn Jade Falcon
but
dice
we'd
in
be
here.
idiots if we did that.
You'd be
Uh,
the Aerodani light horses if you did that. No, I'm kidding.
But
No,
they
I
could
don't
just
see
be.
what you said and what I said are incorrect.
They could
They
both
could be ex-
exist
they
in
could
the
be
universe at the
expecting
same
that.
time.
But I
For
mean,
Aerodani light horses.
quite frankly, I
Not
see us
smart.
I see us using green, you know, and coming.
You know
down
what
and coming
Aerodani
down
Light
that
Horse
route.
stands for? ELH. Everybody loves Hansa.
So the thing is those are the fastest
just
Mac
subtly
2. These
snuck
are the
that
slower
in.
Macs.
Back in the lore in
Right.
the early days.
So
Nobody
if we
knew it.
actually went up
Nobody knew it.
that
Nobody knew it.
side,
Nobody knew
it
it.
would take them longer to
I
bring
see.
in
I
reinforcements.
feel that might not be true.
Yes, but
Some say it is so.
Some say it is so.
Yes.
If our earlier
Is that-
discussion
is that
going to be
some
true,
just Brent
then we go
Evans?
toward the slower ones.
Okay.
Me and all other
Yeah.
fans of the Great White Ninja.
All right.
That's
God.
counterintuitive. What you're saying
Love
is
that
absolutely
movie.
correct, but you know,
Yeah.
We also get support assets. I believe
I mean,
25
we certainly
points
can
worth.
do that.
And
No,
I just
no,
didn't- yeah, I've used them before though. So
Oh,
Uh,
goodness. Oh, that's not. Oh.
Yeah, this is brutal.
yeah, 25 battlefield support points, and those are the ones I picked out.
Why don't you go first with the lighter ones?
never
Get
used
as far as you can, and we'll see where they
Oh,
move their map.
Wow.
And then
Just
So
FYI.
I assume we need
we
to.
can we
we
can
need to rule
decide
that
to see if we
pre-plan
want to split
where-
up
where-
or
Oh, do you know how to do it?
I only know that you
You know, I mean,
I've not used it before.
right in
Yeah,
here,
I thought
can
we
get
had
you
to,
relatively
write down
easy,
where that's happening.
you know, the general running. I mean, just you know,
But this is spectacular. I hope
I mean,
you know how to play
You
them.
can go
Um,
right through there.
We're gonna
too,
find
though.
out how to.
right.
Yeah, I never used these before.
Getting-
So
Excellent.
I've learned get into cover.
Okay.
Right.
So go ahead with yours.
So he's got an 11 runs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
it's just
8,
We've not really.
8, 9.
9,
So
10.
It's 8, 9 to enter the light woods. It's +1 to enter the woods. Just so you know.
Oh, okay.
just declare
So
And then so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Turn,
turn
11,
11, and then
12.
12. What?
but I don't know. I only have
It's
one,
11. So you're just here and turn.
or I should have just started here and turned before I got to Lightwood. Save myself.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and go.
Okay.
and then
Either
I'd
way.
it'd be right down here
Perfect.
then. Yep. So yeah, so that's his 11. So
That's red
Okay.
with the.
Good call.
10 to 17.
Yep.
So this one has been spent.
Okay.
All right.
These
Excellent.
ones, we just declare it. We
I
roll
love
and
it.
Declare it, and that's that.
I
And
love it.
then The flea.
Glory to the defenders.
You got 14.
Yeah,
on
usually
there.
I play with
14
artillery
running.
on board, so I'm like,
Nice. Nice.
And I think
So
I'm
for
gonna
that
drop
locust,
it,
here's what I
like,
think
right
you should do.
there.
Run that way
Probably is going to be our.
really fast.
it's gonna die.
And if something gets in your way, turn.
It's gonna die.
Yeah,
It's
but
not it's
yeah,
not even as
get there.
fast as their guys.
I saw my chance to use the John Cusack quote, and I went for it. Better Off Dead.
now.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
Okay, so there
You
are
get-
those.
You got to do.
Oops. I'm going to destroy.
That
some-
Irby's destroying everything.
Well, I can't wait till we deploy him because that's going to be. Oh, if they've got off-board artillery, we are so screwed.
Yeah,
How come we didn't get any support shit like that?
because we have way more battle value. So because we have.
So this battle's got to be even. Why?
I
know
don't
it's
know.
never even in
Yeah,
warfare.
yeah.
You pick the stuff that looks cool and you want to use, and you.
They
go
were
run
so
with
embarrassed yesterday. They decided they needed to give them an advantage.
Oh well, that makes perfect sense then.
it. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Let's see.
So,
This is the.
These guys, I wrote out the first.
This here is the
Actually do
Star
5
Slayer.
each.
Okay.
So if you just want to.
So if he deploys there, I can jump him into that.
What's
Really?
his?
The only 3 that I.
Oh, he's got a 6.
Are they on your map?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you might want to go
That's
further
the-
over there.
They,
All
they
right.
just mean those are the ones we can target.
And then.
Oh, okay.
So you can actually pick ones that are. Actually, I'll pick 2.
And then for him. So he's got a
There you go.
6.
So
Excellent.
Starts here, then
I do another.
He jumps 6.
Yeah. I mean, I can drop.
Do I have to
in
declare them
here,
now?
You know.
Oh yeah, you got to write them.
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
So you've got.
Well, you might even want to just go
Toms.
up
So you
there.
fit- you got
Oh,
three
no,
here.
never mind. Yeah, no, that's right.
Pick out areas you want to potentially have them.
And so
That's going to
that
be
would
the 3 to 4 on there.
There we go.
Okay,
Just
we've
write
got
them
4
down.
units moved.
Sweet.
All right.
So
So I will. And we need to move 2.
yep, just 2 in general. One
Okay.
like so.
Do we have movement dice? Those things?
You don't need move. Oh, yes, yes we do. These are our ones.
Okay. I admit I dislike this because it does not show the terrain that we're in on the die. So I'm going to go this way. I am not moving, but I am standing in trees. That is showing all terrain modifiers that my mech is covering up. And then,
And
do you have one you can move, or do you want me to do both?
Do both. I'll
Okay.
follow up. I'll get my steps in next turn.
He is doing the same thing. He is also in light woods, standing still. There we go.
Brian's got their heavy hitters anyway, so he's really
Yeah.
the one to be more concerned about.
But the honest truth is, Brian could deploy on that map, completely bypass this. So
Yeah. But we've got speed, so we
Yeah.
can close that gap quickly.
plus we have the improved tactic of luring them in with our bodies.
Oh yes.
Yes.
However, we'll
I know,
not
I
doing that. Remember, both maps are applicable. If Big Red doesn't sleep or eat, he will be victorious. Madcat 352. I've said it before, if I don't sleep or eat, I will perish. I will no longer be alive. So that would be absolutely tragic for me personally. We'll send angry letter back to Comstar via LRM or Long Tom. Look, Comstar, Blake be praised. May they watch over us. May we all follow.
Oh,
And
did we
Jerome
need to
Blake's
pick?
glorious like.
Did we need to pick our commanders?
Lorcan,
And do
why are
we
you
need
so
to pick
mean
that
to me?
secretly? Okay.
Oh, he's the commander.
Who? What? Okay.
Do you have any 2-3 pilots?
I do, in fact, have a 2-3 pilot.
Because we need to pick one of our 2-3 pilots to be the commander.
What does having a commander do for us or against?
If they kill him, we lose a lot of points. If we find and kill theirs, we get a lot of points. But we
okay.
don't know which one it is.
All right. Well, mine is 50, which is what is yours in terms of
50.
tonnage and stuff.
Oh, I've got a 60 and a 70.
Yeah, so you're going to be more armored than I will.
I think we're all actually pretty comparable, to be honest. Which one has the highest movement? I'd say maybe yours,
585,
because you can get out of there faster.
Oh, okay.
So let's just
All right.
yeah, okay.
All
So
right.
it's the okay.
Yep. But it's predetermined. Yeah.